Well, a fourth woman has just come forward accusing Democratic Congressman John Conyers of sexual misconduct just hours after he submitted his letter of resignation and endorsed his son, John Conyers III, to fill his congressional seat. This also has the RNC announcing that it will back and help fund Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore's campaign after President Trump has officially endorsed him. The RNC, of course, earlier had withdrew from fundraising with the Moore campaign after multiple women came forward accusing him of sexual misconduct. With me now to discuss, Tammy Bruce and Noelle Nikpour, Republican strategist and fundraiser. Noelle, you understand where the money goes, right? They always say follow the money.
Right.
Initially, the RNC took their resources away. Now they're back on board. The big fundraisers, what are they saying about this?
Well, here's the deal. You know, the RNC, they're not going to take a hit for this. RNC and Republican fundraising is going to be just fine. We've got Steve Wynn at the helm and other races. I've been looking at different races across the country, and there's not going to be any problem with fundraising. It's going to be a problem, I think, for Steve Bannon and his fundraising. And first of all, I'm so mad about this. First of all, we wouldn't be in this situation if we didn't have a challenger for Luther Strange. We didn't need someone messing around in Alabama politics. There really wasn't a problem. And second of all, why didn't Governor Ivey, get involved in this and shut this thing down? I'm very irritated over this race, Charles. It's not going to affect fundraising going forward for any other candidate. I think it is going to affect Steve Bannon and his movement and his fundraising going forward, because Steve Bannon has become almost like a nuisance now instead of a help in primaries with this going on.
But Tammy, if Moore wins, I mean, he's raised a lot more money than anyone thought he could raise.
Sure.
If Moore wins, that would be something of a vindication for Steve Bannon and others who are saying, let the Alabama citizens decide who's right on this.
I don't think, of course, anybody expected it to go in this direction. But I think what it's mostly a statement about is, and this is where Washington should take this very seriously, is how Americans, and not just the South, but pretty much everywhere, don't believe anything that comes out of Washington, that they're sick of everything, and that this is what they're stating effectively, is that we don't care what you say, we don't care what your position is, this is now what we're doing. I also think, though, that when it comes to the people voting and making their choice, I think people can make a good choice between three candidates. And people are going to make their mind up. And that's what the people of Alabama did, and they're going to do it again. But when it comes to fundraising, the RNC is having, of course, record years attached to President Trump. And I think that this also, though, shows for the RNC their schizophrenia. They can't even take a stand and stay there. And this is, they don't really know what to do.
Let's talk about
chaos.
that a little bit, because earlier today, President Trump was visited by some senators, and it was interesting because he was flanked by two senators who had, let's just say, he's had some run-ins with. Let's just take a quick look.
The taxes we're so thrilled about, so popular, and I think something is going to be coming out of conference pretty quickly as opposed to long term. I think it's going to go pretty quickly. We're all on the same page. There's a great spirit in the Republican Party like I've never seen before, like a lot of people have said they've never seen before. They've never seen anything like this, the unity.
All right, the same page, unity, and then the guy next to him writes a check for the Democrat in Alabama. What do you think about that, Noelle?
It's a statement. It was a small amount, and he did it for a statement, and this is what he did. He took a picture of the check. So Jeff Flake was basically saying, in your face, I'm going to support integrity versus the candidate that you have before us. And really, this candidate is unfair. I mean, whether he did it or not, we don't know. There are allegations, but he's going to be entering in the U.S. Senate with this cloud of smog with him. I mean, it's not
but let's face, there's some smog waiting for him as well, too, though. I mean, maybe not in the same kind of smog, but what do you make of it, though? Yeah. President Trump promoting unity, and then, of course, the photo of the check after.
We all, looking outside in, have different opinions. I've never been a big fan of Roy Moore, but Alabama's going to decide. I think that it's rather pathetic that was what Flake did. If you're going to take a stand, then go all in. But once again, it's like, maybe not, $100, look at my picture. This is what we're rejecting. We want outcomes. We want leadership. We don't want kabuki dances.
Right.
Come on, guys.
You said three people can run. I think Jeff Flake set himself up to run in 2020 as a third candidate. Ladies, thank you both very much.